Thanksgiving 2021, November 25th, 2021. Chilling in my car outside of a gas station all day. Slept. Chilled. I could have ate. I was depressed last night after going on a nice date. Lunch and dinner and movies. A movie at the theater. And I'm still sad because I'm all alone on Thanksgiving. Because I can't do what I'd like to do. Yet I'm still thankful, still grateful that I had somebody to care for me for a little while during my life. I'm in between right now. I don't want to eat today. I feel like I'm just very sad. I feel like there's a lot more people out there that are worse off than me. I was sitting here in my car for a while, watching some YouTube videos or scrolling through my phone at that time, seeing if I could manage any semblance of a Thanksgiving dinner for today. But someone knocked on my window over here on my driver's side, and I was hesitant, and he had a couple dollars in his hand, but since I'm sitting right in front of a camera, there's no way he would have ripped me out of the vehicle to steal from me or whatever. So I took the money, and he was like, "Here you go," and that was it. A really nice gentleman that it was $7, but he doesn't realize that I need that $7 just to survive right now. So I feel like I had tried to panhandle one time in my life when I was literally with nothing. The officers didn't give me my phone back. They didn't give me my keys back. They left me for dead wherever. And just like everyone does, because they don't want to hear that they've done wrong in any sense. And if I confront them about the reality of it, everyone wants me to just die off, which is actually funny because in the grander scheme of things, they're just doing it to themselves because karma's a bitch. So I feel like I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful just for being able to witness today and to see if there's going to be a progression, a positive progression in my life. So far, not so good. So far, it seems like I've been struggling just to survive, and I've told people that my whole life. It seems like that's all I've been doing is fighting to keep my head above water when everybody's trying to pull me down and sexually assault me in the same process of that. So, dating is hard for me. My menses starts tomorrow, so of course I'm going to be emotional and I'm going to be frustrated over nothing. And so I'm going to see if I can cheer myself up. Maybe use that $7 to buy myself a Thanksgiving meal, one that I can eat, one that's not full of dead animal. So I just feel like people don't really recognize. I was driving up the road and I saw the officer that was in the jail. And I was like, "Hey, I know you. I just hope he's safe for Thanksgiving, People like that are nice to me. I always wish good things will happen to everybody, really. Even the people that are shit to me. I'm like, okay, continue to be even more shit to me. And then also, too, I'll pray that you get the best of everything just so that I can get ripped away from you inevitably and you'll have the worst pain in your entire life." So, it's just how balance is, the duality in life. It's not that I'm wishing bad upon anyone. It's not like that. It's just I wish whatever you deserve. And most people are not kind enough to see me as a human being or an individual. But when those people do, I feel like they're very special. They're very open-minded, and the universe speaks through them, you know, in that way, in those moments, in those instances when people see me as a human being and they rationalize, wow, she's not frightening. She may go around in her pajamas. She may, this and that, and not talk to anybody and look all pissy, because I do most of the time. But then when people see me all dressed up or something, they're like, oh, you look great. Like, what's up with that? And everybody should have that ups and downs and not have to be told, you're bipolar. You're bipolar. No, I'm having depression because you allowed my pedophilic father to molest me and continue to molest me, and my brother joined in on that because he was like, okay, fuck it, this is how it is. No. And then I turned around and I had a kid that I wasn't ready for, even at the age of 25. And then by 4 years into that, I lost that child because everyone told me that my ex-husband was better off with the child, which is irrational, because I was the only one that offered that child any semblance of stability and also discipline and expressive and specialized knowledge of the world around her. But nobody cared to know that, nobody cared to stick around Leticia long enough because she was screaming at them, because she was yelling at them because they were doing wrong toward her, or the world around her was falling apart in her mind because everyone had tainted her with their fists. You don't physically assault people. So I'm actually grateful that that family gets together still, and my daughter will inevitably find out the truth, because their whole life is going to be destroyed. Every bit of it, when she recognizes, and everyone recognizes, and the whole world sees what true demons exist in the world, what true demonic forces are at play. People that leave loaded guns with individuals that are known to be suicidal. People that don't care about anyone else but themselves. Lie and manipulate and gaslight so that they can get whatever they want, because they're narcissists, because they're egotistical, because all of these words that I state, I know the definitions for, and I also know that they coincide with every personality trait of the people that I interact with, because I do my research and I keep a watchful eye. And I usually don't share my opinion unless it's mandatory, because most people don't want to hear the truth, the authenticity of their flaws, the authenticity of my words toward truth and honesty. So I am thankful. I'm thankful that other people are happy today and I'm suffering. I am. I would rather have that and bleed out the rest of whatever essence is in my body to share with those that are deserving of positive lives, which is generally everyone. I always gave everyone the benefit of the doubt, even with my own father. For years and years and years, I waited for an apology. For years, I would talk to him sitting at the table and discussed with him what I had felt during those moments of him, trying to have therapy in that sense, counseling and whatnot. But most people don't even recognize. They don't know that they're insane. They refuse to believe it. So they refuse to believe that anything that they have done could possibly be taken or misconstrued as something that is negative. So I try to inform people through the scientific perspective of research and all this and that, and documentation that proves this in psychology, and psychology is excruciatingly important because of the fact that we all have brains. Not all of us. Obviously, some of us can't comprehend half the words that come out of my mouth. Some of you, cannot comprehend half the things, and that's why I kept getting in trouble here in the South, because nobody understood my terminology. Nobody cared to research the large words that I was using in actual everyday circumstances, because people thought, oh, she's just being extra. No, that's just the way I write and read and speak, because I have a heightened vocabulary compared to most. So I feel as though most people just don't realize karma's a coming, and inevitably they're all gonna be fucked, because like I've said to people, you don't fuck with people like that. You don't continually fuck with them. And I've told people, bad shit happens to those that are not good. Bad shit happens to good people, but that is also their testament to trying to succeed. All of their circumstances, failed attempts, part of their testimony, I mean, their testament to become a better person and overall influence others in a positive way. I don't even want to influence anyone, but I know that I do constantly. And I tell people, this is how you can better yourself. This is how you can better your life. Please stop smoking cigarettes. Please stop drinking. Please do this and that. Majority of the time, I'm actually very polite. But then after I'm around somebody for so long and I notice that they're mentally ill because they can't refrain from their addictions, I cannot be around that. I literally have no addictions. I thought, yeah, sugar. But I can go without sugar. I can go without caffeine. I can go without, I don't smoke cigarettes. I didn't smoke weed when I was locked up for 5 days, and I'm pretty sure they were like, she's fine. She's not tripping out. I was tired and stressed, and boy, I needed a joint. But, I wasn't craving to the point where I was going to stab somebody for it. So I feel like people have got all of this backward. Psychology, the world around us, the fact that they're feeding us a bunch of trash food that in turn messes up the chemistry in our brains, and people don't even understand that. They're just like, oh, turkey, gobble gobble. Like, let's get this laced turkey that we got from the grocery store that was only industrialized, farmed and everything, injected with all kinds of toxins, and let's feed it to our family because we're thankful they exist. No, you're feeding them a bunch of toxins is what you're doing. And you're continually doing it with all these mundane holiday traditions that shouldn't be there. If we realize what we're doing to others, including animals, including the world around us, including the trees, including the grass, including all of this, you'd understand why we're having global warming issues right now. But no, nobody really understands that, because they think that we have to uphold our traditions because our family's so important. Majority of the families that do all of that are not that important and can get wiped out without anybody even noticing. So if you're that naive to think that your one family is going to be that important, that you are so needy that you need this for that whatever, or you need to get this, or you need to have the best of this, but then your children turn out trash anyway, yeah, they're going to get wiped off the face of this earth. That's people that don't have compassion. Like the person I went on a date with, and he realized, because he had been overweight, his whole life, and whatever, dealing with his weight issues, and not recognizing that he had been spoiled his entire life because he had never been told no. And when he rationalized that with me in the car, he recognized, oh crap, like maybe I do need to stand up and take accountability for my own actions and be held responsible for the things that I refuse to want to do for myself. So, like, he's always had that safety net of his mom taking care of him, financially supporting him and taking care of him in every way. And, I can relate to those people. I can, in some semblance of whatever. But I did make him tear up by my story. I did make him tear up because I told him too much of my honest truth about the things that I've sustained, and I'm not spoiled. And everybody says, Leticia's just spoiled. Really? Am I just spoiled? Like, my mom would say that, my dad would say that, my siblings would say that. And I'm like, am I spoiled? Am I? Oh my goodness, no, you gave me things to keep me hush-hush from all the touchy-touchy. That's what I remember. So I'm not actually spoiled. I actually was completely traumatized and taken advantage of, and you tried to manipulate me with all of these material belongings, material things. That's all they are, just things. That's why I'm just like, I've got my belongings, they're mine. I keep track of them, I try to keep them clean. If I ever miss one thing, if I misplace one belonging, my entire moment, my fragment in reality is just destroyed. And I know what that is. It's the fact that my child was ripped away from me too soon. And I will always have that, where I will feel like something is missing. And people didn't understand that. They were just like, oh no, she's crazy. Every time she reaches out to try to talk to this family, we need to protect this family, because this family is part of our culture down here, part of our system, our money-making system. They pay their taxes. They do this and this. Yet I pay my own taxes. They're just a lot smaller because I don't try to own a bunch of nonsense. So you tell me who the good and bad people are in this circumstance. It's usually the people that are gathering and cheerful and don't give a fuck what they've done to other humans. Those are demons. Demonic human beings that are totally not even worth the air they fucking breathe. Just being truthful. Just being honest. Oh, and then it hurts people. And they're like, oh my God, she's so right about me. Oh. Oh. None of us deserve to be here. If we're just continuing to take and take and take, that's why I keep offering myself up. On a silver goddamn platter. Here you go. Take my life. If you want my belongings, here you go. You can have it. Just kill me first. Go for it. Don't care. There's not really much to take. It's on finance and whatever. I literally make nothing. So, if you think you're going to steal from me or whatever, go for it. I'd like to see that try. I'd like to see you try. So, I just feel like there's so many ridiculously hypocritical human beings out there that are over there gathering around, being thankful for nothing and being thankful for their this and that and their money, money, money and their cars and their house and their all this and that and everything and all their kids and all their shitty diapers and all this and that and all the things that they take and all this. I need the money for this and I need this and this and this. Oh, you're so blessed. Blessed to be naive enough to not understand the world around you. Blessed and naive enough to not even see anything beyond what's right in front of your fat faces. Because generally that's what they are. Fat and distorted, because you can't even realize what you're doing to yourselves. I realized after trying to acclimate to this surrounding down here in the South, and I couldn't, because there was no intelligent life to socialize with. And everyone that I started to speak with was driving me insane because they did not understand common sense, did not understand hygiene, didn't understand their own self-awareness in their bodies. So, rationalizing this and leaving all this trauma behind has been like the most gratifying accomplishment that I could have ever completed. So for me, I'm thinking like, if only people truly understood me, if only people truly understood where I was coming from, then they wouldn't laugh. Then they wouldn't point the finger. Then they wouldn't, snicker in the corner and say, oh, that girl, this. They act as though I don't hear and see and know just by eye contact or lack thereof. I feel like people are so deranged to think that they cannot, that some people go on and on with lies. And I just shake my head. I nod my head and I think, inevitably your gaslighting, your manipulation is going to catch up to you. Like every time in nearly every video, and I express it every fucking day, You allowed my ex-husband to get married after he promised me. After you allowed a signature that was falsified to get placed through, shouldn't have been viable in court. Because if I was on a mental break and had a bunch of pharmaceuticals pumped into me, and you expect that I was stable enough to go through a divorce at that moment, that's on the government. That's on everyone else. Because I needed help in that moment. I needed help. I was a disabled citizen, for one. So they should have reached out and given me an attorney, because they should have known at that instance I was not getting counsel from anyone but the people that manipulated me. But I was supposed to be smart enough not to sign a paper at that time when I was in and out of psych wards, and not understanding, not comprehending that people were looking down upon me, even though I was the one that was physically assaulted and nothing had happened about it, and sexually assaulted by my ex-husband, and no one did shit about that. Marital rape is a thing, and I held a lot of self-defeating and I despised myself for allowing it to happen, and realizing that I allowed this person, because he was married to me, to take advantage of me, take advantage of my body, take advantage of my material belongings. And I just want people to recognize this happens to us all over, everywhere we go. And no one lifts a finger. They know what's right from wrong. They've seen it happen, but they can't help the victim, because technically, through legal proceedings, and it's just like, okay, fine, if that's how you want to play your game in this realm, I will go to my fucking grave just speaking the truth, and won't file a goddamn claim in the courts. Because why should I? Why should I lift a finger to do something so evil, to try to get them back financially, like my ex-husband did to me? I've already been on the shit end of that stick, so I'm pretty fucking sure that I just don't give a fuck about anybody, and I'm not trying to be suing my parents for sexually abusing me. I'm suing my whatever and everybody for sexually abusing me. So I just deal with it. Cut myself, hurt myself. That's how it is. And people don't even rationalize, like, these are the behaviors that go on in so many people, and they don't open up. They're never honest. They're not genuine. They don't tell people they want to commit suicide. They keep it hush hush because they know better. When they speak it aloud, people try to stop them. People try to get into their fucking way. And it's like, no, in actuality, there's nothing worth living for. I'm grateful for this day. I am thankful that I am here to speak shit about this system, to express things to you people and my daughter, that I am just so sad and disturbed now, that I look at people and I think, oh my God, they don't even know that they're going to have a shit so-and-so happen this coming so-and-so. I'll be able to tell some things just by certain pictures now. My intuition has gotten a lot more heightened since I've gone through more and more trauma and pain. But that's what happens. Especially when you're shoved in and out of your body so many times through suicide attempts, and you wake up in pain, and you just see everything and everyone around you, and you see the manipulation, and you see everything. Fragments of reality, fragments of the past, and fragments of the future, all mixed in one. Sometimes I have no idea where the hell I am. I wake up and I'm like, oh, what day is this? What time frame? What year? Oh, okay. I only have this much more? Okay. All right then. So some people are like, what is she even talking about? If you don't know what I'm talking about, then try to commit suicide yourself and come back. I mean, that's all I can say. If you've never been to that point, you don't understand, then you'll never understand and comprehend, and you're part of a closed off mindset of that 60%. And it's true. You'll never have the empathy to actually understand where someone is coming from that has actually truly suffered pain. Instead, you're in that little closed off nest egg of your parents, that they took care of you, or you're their family, or you've got somebody, some semblance of emotional support. Whereas a lot of us don't have that, especially the ones that are homeless this day and age, like myself, living out of my car. I had somebody say that I had been trying to online date, just talking. It's all it is. It's just talking. It's not like we're actually dating, right? And he's like, well, so you're not homeless. You got a car. I'm like, are you fucking insane? I can't do my dishes in here. I can't wash my laundry in here. I can barely sleep in here. I can barely eat in here because I don't want to get it all messy and shit. Just because it's mobile and whatever. You gonna say this is my home? This is a home? I mean, it's better than some of those people I've seen in their tents over by trees and bushes. Like, that's their home. Because the government did not see them as worthy of anything. Not even disability. So I, at the very least, have disability, and the government has to afford for me. And if, in case anything were to happen, or they start cutting off my allotment and something happens because I can't financially support myself because I can't work, look at me. I will literally come to work looking like shit and tell people off if they give me the fucking mandatory, like, oh, you've got to go to work. No, I don't. I make the choice. My choice is I would rather fucking suffer and starve, because there's nothing to fucking go to work for. I have nothing and no one to work for. I have nothing. I worked for my poodles when I had them. I always made sure. I was like, no, I gotta work hard because I gotta love them. I gotta take care of them. They gotta have the very best and yada yada, best food and treats and whatever. I want to make sure they've got everything. I have nothing anymore. I only have myself. And I definitely don't love myself enough. Actually, it's not even love. It's I don't hate myself enough to get a job. So I love myself enough to understand, Leticia, you need a timeout. You need a break from society and its constructs and its demands. Because that's all they ever do is put demands on you. You need to spend money here. You need to do this here. You need to socialize here. You got to be nice to this person because they're in an authoritative position. Nope. I don't know who the fuck you think you people are, but we're all humans. And every one of us has the right to our own opinion, and we were born in a free country, and I should have the fucking freedom of speech. So if I want to say I want to murder that entire goddamn family, I should be allowed to fucking say that. Because I'm not a fucking murderer, and I'm not a fucking psychopath, and I'm not a fucking sociopath. Although I am genius enough to get away with it. Yes, I understand that. And yes, those images flicker through my mind. All you need is this item, and this item. And they'd be dead. All of them. But then it's just like, why do I want to go down that route of trying to be crazy? Instead, I'm going to take a breath, not deal with that, not focus on that, and worry about my goddamn self, which is pretty much just breathing. I need to do some fucking yoga. If I go to the yoga classes, I get pissed the fuck off because half the time when I go to the classes that I go to, there'll be snide remarks here and there. There'll be all the kinds of whatever, these little cliques and whatever, these people that have been going to the yoga at this place for so long and yada, 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 and they just don't like you because you're disheveled. They don't like you because you don't look cute. So some days I'm accepted and some days I'm not. All dependent on my overall appearance, the aesthetics. That's it. And then a majority of the people that talk to me are like, oh my God, you're so smart. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I never talk to you, because you're fucking dumb. And I can already tell. So, yeah, like, why do I have to sit here and teach everyone around me? Why do I have to sit there and be everyone's goddamn nanny and everybody's tutor and everybody's this and that, when it's like, do your own goddamn research, people. Actualize what's going on around you And most people don't. They're still like, I don't know what she's talking about. Let me use this fluoride toothpaste that's directly linked to dementia now. Let me use this aluminum deodorant that's seeping into my glands and causing me to go crazy too with dementia. Let me drink this Diet Coke because this Diet Coke is going to help me lose some weight because I sure do love my syrup water, my high fructose corn syrup water. And they're just like, well, no, the government said the chemically processed this. It's not going to eat away at my... You're already crazy. That's why you're continually addicted to these products. That's why you're just a consumer. That's why I wish I weren't a consumer, because I see what the fuck's going on around me, and I wouldn't want to buy any of it. I would never, there's hardly anything that I would state that I'm proud to purchase aside from some of the clearance stuff that I buy that's like okay and not so processed. Honestly, you people are stupid. And then people tell me, they're like, how are your teeth so white? And I'm like, well, because I spend money on the fluoride-free toothpaste, and I actually brush them, and I actually floss them, and I actually pick between my teeth. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why I get confused for being in my 20s, because most people around these parts ain't got their teeth, because there's a lot of meth abuse down here, and also the cigarette smoking it'll choke you out. But everybody's like, the South shall rise. Rise in cholesterol, rise in weight, rise in stupidity. And then everybody's going to wipe your asses out for not being cordial and not being accepting of education and knowledge and science and psychology. And that's what happened to me down here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I was looked at as though I was the problem, as if I were the problem. Yet no one down here is comprehensive enough to understand that it had a lot to do with their psychological instabilities, their chemical imbalances in their own brain. So I can't believe so many times I've been so truthful and honest with people, and they don't take my truth as fact. And it's horrifying, because I feel like I'm still stuck in that 12-year-old stage where I'm trying to convince people, don't send me back to my parents. Don't send me back here. And it's just like, that's exactly what it's like when I try to commit suicide, and I beg with those beings that I see on the other side, do not send me back to that piece of shit. And of course I am, because I am not done with whatever mission I was sent on Earth for, right? My sister used to call me an alien growing up all the fucking time. You're not the real Leticia, you're an alien. I'm like, whatever. What the fuck ever. I don't believe any of that. I just know what I know, and I just keep my mouth shut. But also, too, aliens, yeah. Higher beings, yeah. That consciousness that you see, and those things that you see when you're in and out of consciousness. I know why I'm here. And that is to prove a few points to other people that are being inhumane. And to not, people that aren't rationalizing everything in this day and age. So I know that my life is meant to influence more people than I had ever imagined, because I was even told that by a psychic when I was cleaning tables at a Fuddruckers when I was like 17, 18 years old. And I was walking through cleaning up the tables, and this story kind of freaks me out every time I relay it, because it reminds me of when he touched me. I'm not in a bad way. I was walking through cleaning up the tables, and this man reached out and grabbed my hand, and he said, you're meant for really great things, really grand things. And I used to cry when I would tell this story, because it just filled me with the emotions of that moment, of this man whom I didn't know, who just, he stopped me and he said, you know, you're meant to influence a lot of people. You're meant to do great things. And I just laughed and I was like, okay, buddy, whatevs. And he's like, you know, because I was completely just, I was caught off guard. I'm just doing my job. I'm very young. Sure, I was impressionable at that time, but I was thinking in my mind, what do you want from me? What is, you know, what are you trying to flirt with me? You're an older gentleman, and I don't know if I appreciate that, you know? And he told me, he was like, well, I'm actually a traveling medium, a traveling psychic, and I do different, what is that? Like he does audiences or whatever. He would speak to many people all at once, kind of like the Long Island medium when she'd have rooms full of people and talk to them or whatever, I guess. So he told me that I was actually very important, but I didn't understand at that point if there was a reason for my existence. You know, I was always just very hateful toward myself and not understanding why I was suffering still at that age with all of these psychological issues that had happened as a child of the sexual abuse and everything. And I realized that every time I confront the actual issues of society and what has happened and all these things, that helps people to recognize that they're not alone in this world and that they've suffered through many atrocities themselves and didn't even realize that they were suffering from issues, ailments, and that I feel like so far I have touched a lot of lives, because that's what he said. He was like, you're meant to touch a lot of lives in that way, like sharing whatever. And I was like, I'm not sure what you're talking about, sir. And he was like, and I asked him, I was like, oh, okay, so if you're traveling psychic or medium, and when am I going to find the man of my dreams? And he said, oh, it's going to take you quite a few failures or like toads before you find your prince. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I just don't even know if that's viable, because I went away from the spirituality of that and everything, because I was raised Catholic. This man was talking about things that, yes, I'm interested in ghosts, yeah, I'm interested in tarot and all this and that, but I also knew that people said that it was the devil, that magic and everything like that was the devil. So I wasn't supposed to, in alchemy and whatever, and what's the word for, not clairvoyance, but divination, you know, that all of that was just the devil, you know, stem from evil, which is not. It's not. It's our connectivity to the greater consciousness and the greater good. So when he had informed me of that, I had never in my mind thought that it would be something, you know, me as an individual trying to help anybody else. I have nothing. I come from nothing. I'm nothing and I'm no one. And most people are like, Leticia, you're the strangest person. Like, I don't know. But in a good way, I guess, a majority of the time. People want to be around me and I don't want to be around them, because I know too much about their psyche. I know too much about their issues. And if I see them hurting themselves, it bothers me, damages me. So yeah, and that guy freaked me out working at Fuddruckers, and he told me all that, and I was just like, whoa. And that's not the only time that I'd come in contact. And like, he offered me that bit of knowledge for nothing. But then when he left me like a $2 tip, I was like, I don't know if I can believe this guy. Like, how are you gonna tell me I'm worth this and that and whatever, and you leave me $2? How am I supposed to support myself on this? But I was always grateful. I was always, in the back of my mind, it didn't matter. The kind words were enough payment to me. The money means nothing to me. And I tell people that all the time. I just don't see where my life has purpose trying to seek out money. And I tell people, God will grant me blessings here and there. I'll still be able to eat. I'll still be able to clothe myself, and I'll still be loved. And it doesn't matter that it's not my family doing these things. It's the family of God, the family of the greater good, the family of people that want to help one another. Humanitarians, you know. because that's what I've always been. And people didn't rationalize that because I snap verbally all the time and I use too many cuss words. But really, it's just my trauma. Never do I ever want anything bad to happen to other individuals. I see bad things and I call them out, and I call them out prior to them happening, and people think that I curse them. And I'm like, no, it's your own curse. You don't understand. You're wandering around with your own demons and they're clinging to your back. And let me tell you a few things that I see. And most people are like, oh. And then one time I went to somebody's house and I told him what his dog was telling him. I told him everything his dog was trying to convey to him, because I've been around animals more than I've been around humans, so I know the psychology behind pets and things. And the dog was trying to inform him that he was afraid of a lot of the motorized vehicles around the area. And the dog had also told me that there were a lot of women that came in and out of his apartment. And it's not like a verbal thing, like that the animals talk to me or whatever. It's more of a feeling and like these little snips of a picture almost. So I told the guy, I said, well, your dog has told me that there's, like, not told me, you know what I mean? Like, I told him, I was like, well, your dog and this and that. He was like, you should be a traveling pet medium and like a pet whatever. And I was like, well, I do have a good idea of what these animals would like to convey just through their demeanor. But most people don't really rationalize where I'm coming from, where I'm saying like the animal needs this, the animal needs that, and also too, the animal's trying to tell you it doesn't get to go places it would like to go. When it interacts with other animals, he gets sense, he gets images, he gets told from his buddies, his little pals here and there, that there's grander things out there that he wants to be a part of. And that's why he was having fearful like barking incidences and things, and being uncomfortable. And I told the owner, I was like, you know, he needs to be out more, he needs to go socialize more, and also too, he's weary of getting into the car because he has no idea where he's going to end up, here in this place and that place. And he wanted you to know, like, he does love you, but you're mostly just roommates. It has, you know, it wasn't like the dog looked up to him in that way, but he knew that the owner was sort of like the alpha. But at the same instance, he was like, we're mostly buddies. So it was really interesting, because sometimes I'll get animals that want to communicate with me, and I'll get animals that want to share with me and give me compassion, or give me just information through aggression as well, where they'll standoffish and they don't want me to be around. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll give you your space, like that's cool, like I'm not trying to invade anybody's space. Same with children. That's why children tell me the craziest things all the time. Secrets. I get told secrets by children all the time. And there's really nothing I can do to help these children aside from, like, if only I were to become a therapist or counselor or this and this and this. But I don't have the money to do that. So really, I just sit here with my skills and I talk to myself. Because if I do open up to other people and I'm just in an atmosphere of where they don't know who I am, or they think I'm just a bum, how could they take the word of a homeless person? And it's like, you have no idea. Some of the most spiritual people are the ones that wander around with nothing. And it makes perfect sense in the universe. But you guys don't see it like that. You think that we need to have everything, our car, mansion, money, money, money. That's success in your eyes. Yet that's a failed attempt at success, because the happiest people are the ones that realize that they can't take anything with them when they pass. So anyway, here's 45 minutes of me ranting on Thanksgiving, and I haven't eaten yet today, and it's like, I don't know, it's got to be 3 in the afternoon or something. I wanted to go and eat, but then I'm just like, food, fuck it. And you ate yesterday. You ate the day before. You always eating. You can go a day without food and be thankful for it. You can go a day without food and still be grateful for the next day, because you're a healthy human being. Healthier than most. Saner than most. And people are like, they call me deranged. All right. Okay, we'll see you in another 10 years. We'll see you in another this and that. We'll see how that progressed for you. Still doing your chain smoking and still doing your this and that and eating whatever nonsense you're eating, and good. We'll see what happens. And man, when people say I'm crazy and I see all this nonsense and all this and that in schools that do all this kind of bullshit, and these little turds that think they know everything and think they can talk down to an adult, when it's like, do you even realize that your parents are shit? Did you realize that you're taking the advice of shit parents, and then all of a sudden you're not taking the advice of people that have actually lived and sustained so much trauma and actually accomplished a lot in their life? Most people see me and they're like, they see the softness of the skin or something, and they're like, ew. Like the little girls in the locker room, they're like, ew, is that what I'm gonna look like when I get older? Yeah, if you suffer through as much depression and sexual abuse as I have, yeah. And then try to help yourself, because everybody else helped themselves to you first. So, and I warned some of the little girls in the locker room, you've got to be careful. And it's only the little girls that open up and ask me questions. If you want to ask me questions to a perfect stranger, I'll tell you how the world fucking revolves. And I'm not from here. So yeah, a lot of people are like, oh shit, yeah, she's seen some things. I don't even have to go very many places. I just know there's a lot of toxicity in the world that I would much rather avoid. So my story is just mostly like a warning for young girls. Like, do not allow people to walk all over you. Do not allow them to trick you into sending photos or doing this and that. You're going to end up the one that suffers. You're going to end up being the one that suffers, not these misogynistic and glorified assholes, jerks that don't do anything but want to just jack off in people's faces. Even the dude that I hung out with admitted to his perversions in pornography, and I'm thinking, it's not just the pornography, man. If you made changes in your diet, if you started incorporating exercise, you'd see a huge difference in your overall demeanor. And people that are like that are spoiled and whatever, and they think that, oh, blah blah blah, they never get reprimanded when they need to, and then they turn around, they become sexual predators. Like, that's horrifying. There's so many sexual predators online dating, and people don't even stop it. They're just like, let's go for it. Let's see how many girls he can blah, 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 blah. Instead of stopping it, they let the train wreck continue to crash and burn. And all the little girls that end up with this and this and this. And it doesn't matter, because in this day and age, there's too many of us anyway. So our individual stories don't matter to anyone. We're just a number. So we're a number, and we're classified by this. We've got certain documents from our records, medical records, and this and yada yada. So that's all we are to them. Just whatever experiments we are individually. What kind of, blood we have, and, oh, you're mixed breed, or okay, and you've got this race and this race. That's why they ask you a million goddamn questions, even when you're taking surveys online. That's never good. If you're trying to categorize us as anything but human, then you're racist. Something's wrong here. Or if you're just trying to gauge information like the census and whatnot, then you just rationalize where all these low-income people are, and then you just group us all together. We're not worthy of your time because we didn't make it out of the pit soon enough. Survival of the fittest. And I tried to tell people that years ago when I started seeing stuff on TV. I was like, oh my God, I'm so overweight. Like, I should be able to lift myself. I should be able to do this and this and this. Our bodies are created the same in most senses. And we could all do essentially the same things, just in a different variation. Yet nobody wants to take that into heed and take care of themselves, but they think they're taking care of themselves by working a 9 to 5 and getting paid $15 or $17 an hour, and stressing themselves to the point where they're like 100 pounds overweight, and then they think, oh, it's not a problem, my work just is stressful, my life is just stressful, then I want to shove a couple kids on top of that and see how stressful it's going to really get. And it's just like, you're part of the working class. And you'll never be anything but. Not me. I'm over it. I refuse to be a part of a fucking class and caste system like that. And I've told people that. I was like, you can all burn in hell. There's no way that my intelligence is worth a fucking 9 to 5 working at a gas station. Fucking assholes. You think you're gonna offer me that? I would literally spit in your fucking face. Just like I did my fucking father. I'm worth so much more than what I've been allotted that it's fucking horrifying. My intellect, and also too, if I were to be gauged in whatever IQ level, the one lady that was telling me, I got 150 IQ level, and I'm just like, oh shit, if yours is like that, how smart am I then? Because I'm witnessing you do crazy. And I was just like, holy shit, like all of it. Are you insane? Like, if you literally just inform me that your IQ was 150 and you just put on headphones, you're drinking and smoking, put on earmuff headphones, didn't even have it attached to your phone, trying to listen to your goddamn music, and then all of a sudden you put because you're trying to hear the music through your... Are you okay? That's all I say. Like, literally, are you okay? And I understand people can have genius flip in and out, like, but if I have to be self-aware constantly and have to pinpoint and monitor and take care of numbers and do this and this and this, how smart am I really then? Because I'm horrified. She wanted me to take care of her business and stuff. Whoa. Wow. Have a blessed day, everybody. Thanksgiving 2021. Someone just texted me, and I'd rather get off the phone and have a human interaction somehow, even if it is through text, because I'm tripping the fuck out. I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat whatever snacks I've got left, because I don't have much left right now. I'm eating from whatever resources. I have a week to make it before I get paid again. And I try to tell people, like, don't feel fucking sorry for me. I'll do it on my goddamn own. But then people are still like, well, here, Leticia, take this. And I'm like, after a few rejections, I finally accept their offer more of the time. I'm just like, no, I don't need what do you want from me? You know what I mean? And then they're like, no, it's for nothing. Like, take it. Okay then. But don't give me shit that you expect me to fucking give back, because that's Indian giving. Get away from me. I had enough of that growing up. So, and that's a terrible saying, Indian giving, because it's like, really, it's like white giving. Like, let's be the white people here, and let's give you blankets full of smallpox, and let's kill off your entire race. What? We're evil. The fucking white race is evil, and I'm half of it. So I'm like, oh God, I'm half demonic. Makes perfect sense, though. But then the rest of me, the other half, stems directly from Mexico in dirt-poor huts made of clay. So, I mean, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean. So anyway, I hope everybody has great holidays. I'm still managing to make it. At least I've got friends here and there that actually care. All my family and friends, like even on social media, they get sick of what I post because it's so real and to the heart, and then they think I'm talking about them personally when it's in actuality it's just my own life I'm talking about. So they've got that paranoia and whatever. What is that called when you believe everything is about you? There's a disorder or something like that. But and that's a lot of people on psych meds. A lot of people that are on a bunch of psych meds that believe I'm talking directly about them and their life, and holy shit. And I'm like, no, you're just on the meds. I went through the same thing. When everybody was talking, I believed that everything coincided with everything, and that was a sign from God or whatever, because I couldn't even I couldn't pinpoint. They jacked me up with so many shots in the fucking jail that I could not read. I couldn't put these words together. None of it. It was all just garbled up like symbols. And I was like, just drooling and doing all this stuff, and people think they're like, and I remember being a part of that, but I couldn't imagine what it looked like to other people. They probably were like, oh yeah, she's crazy. Oh yeah, she threatened to kill. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Did I threaten to kill anybody? It's been 3 goddamn years. I want them dead. But do I do it myself? Fuck no. Do they deserve to be dead? Come the fuck on. Come the fuck on. It's so funny. It's so funny. You people are ridiculous. Like, go ahead. Give everyone that's a shitty person everything. But then all of us good people, let us die off. Because honestly, that's all I would rather do is get the fuck away from this crazy. But then if I did it myself, I'd be forced to be stuck here again. So I'm just waiting. Biding my time. Biding my time. So, yep. I gotta take a piss. I'm hungry. And I'm cranky. And I just want to slit my wrists. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's the first thing I thought of when I woke up this morning. Because I didn't brush my teeth last night because I was too busy hanging out with someone that fed me. And it's like, do you not even realize how much you're taking from my fucking time? My psychological well-being just from keeping me awake until 1 or 2 in the morning? Like, I need my naps, I need my treats, and I need to stay the fuck away from humans. Have a wonderful day, everybody, because I know that my day's been wonderful, hasn't it? Everybody's like, oh, yes, I'm grateful, but in the same instance, what do I have to be grateful for? It's just gonna keep getting worse throughout the years. I just cannot wait to be on the other end of it and just laughing my ass off at everyone that gets the karma they deserve because I suffered. Try to warn people, but they don't listen. You try to warn, they don't listen. Have a wonderful day, everyone.